Well, hi folks, time to empty out some of my Sarpos this year. If you remember, I had a bit of a problem with some of that contaminated compost. Not all of it, I just topped up with some contaminated compost and you could see the results in the leaves, so I knew it was contaminated. Anyway, that issue's been resolved with the company that supplied me with it, so I'm happy enough, you know, I've been compensated. And they're confident that any little bit of any contamination, it won't affect the crop's eating ability, like it won't make it poisonous because there's stuff in it. Although it does distort leaves of plants of certain varieties, it's not harmful in the slightest to mammals, so we'll see. I don't think it'll make me drop dead. So like I say, we'll see what we get with these Sarpo Miras. These are bigger pots than usual. These are full of 60 litres and I put 4 seed potatoes in. And I used to get, if you remember, over £10 for 2 seed potatoes in 30. So if all going well, I should be expecting around £20, but you never know. So I'm going to tip it out on the field because I'm not going to use this compost again. I'm not going to dig it into my garden for obvious reasons. And we'll see what we've got. See if we're in shot. So let's have a look. A few little diddy ones there. See if you can see it's sun straight in my eyes. Does it seem to have affected the yield? They're looking a bit small than they would do normally. Let's have a look. God, I can't see a thing, sun straight in my face. But we're looking like we've got a decent crop anyway, regardless of the contamination or not. So we'll just get these out. They don't look quite as big as they usually are. So whether that's just because the compost wasn't very good as well. But we'll get them out and give them a little bit of a weigh in. Can't believe how dark it's getting early now. It's only 6 o'clock and the sun's going down slowly. It's about dark at about 7:30 now, so that time of year, nights are drawing in, it's getting a bit depressing really. Right, I'll just get these somewhere where you can see. I can't see a thing, the sun is straight in my eyes. See, where can you see him? About there, I'll put him there. Right, I'll put him there. Sort yourself out, man. Like I said, I used to get £10 every time nearly with 3 seed potatoes in a 30 litre pot. I must admit it's been easier growing these because I've just given them a good old flooding, sort of once every few days when it's been sunny. Instead of having to water more pots, you've obviously only got half as many pots to water. The fertiliser I used in this, I used a lot of chicken poo and I used some Vitex Q4 organic stuff, which did really well for the early potatoes. I had a really good crop of those, so I was expecting miracle, you know, wondrous things with these, but looking a bit on the small side, not as productive as usual. I'll try and keep waffling, get them all out, put them in a bag, give them a weight, see what we've got, but so far not looking too brilliant. I think that's about it. Another odd one. So yeah, that's it, not massive at all. I'd like them all to be at least that size because they're going to be for chips and roasts, but a little bit disappointing. It doesn't look like we've got £20 anywhere near £20. Doesn't actually look like we've got £10, which I used to get in a pot half the size with half the amount of potatoes. So, but I can't tell whether that compost has had any effect on the yield, whether it's been a bad year for spuds, no idea. But at least we've got some to eat, which is the main thing. Have another little quick scoop through this, get them all out, and I think that's it. So definitely not £10, definitely not £20. Get the old weighing scales out as usual and weigh them. Come on. Right. Try and make sure you can see it this time. £11. that's about as much as I got in a 30 litre pot, so pretty disappointed with that really. Half the yield that I'd get in that I was expecting. The same yield I got in a 30 litre pot in a 60 litre pot, so I think I may go back to the old 30 litre pots next year, because there's no point in spending twice as much on compost and seed potatoes to get the same amount, really, is there? So that's it folks. First bag of Sarpos harvested, £11 out of 60 litres. Not brilliant, but it'll do. Well, hi folks, now we're here, I've got a pot of these Blue Danube, Sarpo Blue Danube, which I'm going to tip out as well. Because I know these aren't in the contaminated compost because it was a different batch, so we'll see if that's made a difference. And Blue Danube are not the best yielder, so we'll see what we'll get with these. But these are the best roasting, the driest potatoes I've ever known. Absolutely wonderful for chips and roast, and they're a funky colour too. They look nearly black, some of them. So we'll get these whacked open and see what we've got. Let's have a look. The moment of truth. They look quite good. It's obviously a bit of a manky one, but we seem to have a few. Can you see those there? Put them there. Yeah, like I said, these have never been the biggest yield that I've grown, but the best potato for roast and chips by far. Somebody's screaming in the background, I don't know what that is. I might have to jump up in a minute and defeat an axe-wielding murderer by the sounds of it. That's all you need, isn't it? Chill out of the plot and some lunatic screaming his head off. Got a few mouldy looking ones, but still got a few. This is really wet, this compost, so it's obviously not very well drained. But we're getting a few, should be good enough for the chipping and roasting. I don't know whether you'll see it, the sun's going down quickly now, and these are quite a dark spud, so they might be camouflaged against the compost. A few more manky ones there, look. But not looking too bad, getting a few. Another manky one, we'll see. What else can I waffle about for the next 2 minutes? Went to Harrogate the other day with my giant stuff. I'm going back tomorrow, so I'll try and do a video of that, of some of the giant things, which is always quite a strange experience to behold, all the giant veg and stuff. But I didn't do too badly. I was quite pleased with one of the things I entered, but I'll show you that video henceforth. Quite a few rotten ones in there, so whether or not the other ones will probably go the same in storage, I don't know, but I'll get them up, get them home, get them washed off and see what sort of a state they're in. If they're all rotten and mouldy, then I'll just throw the lot away, but the compost's very wet, so that probably hasn't helped, so I think that's about that. Yeah, they're just horrible looking things. There's one there. So we'll weigh these. You see it's absolutely saturated with the compost. I don't think the 60 litre pots have got as many drainage holes in as the 30s. So apart from not having enough space for the roots to grow out of into the bottom, from the bottom into the compost, they're probably not the best to drain either. So like I said, I'll probably go back to the 30 litre pots again next year, because I've always had good results. I just thought I'd try a 60 litre pot for a change, and it obviously hasn't worked. You've got to try these things. Well, that's it, I think. I'm not going to scratch about too much. Don't know where on earth I put my scales. Here they are. I'm looking like I've probably got as many in here as I have in the Sarpo Miras, which, like I said, because they're not a good yield, particularly good yield of these, will mean that the contaminated compost has had an effect. Yeah, well, £10.5 if you can see. I don't know whether you can see. £10.5. So I'm happy with that out of that pot, because I only used to get about £5 out of a 30 litre. So obviously the contaminated bit does affect the yield, because that compost wasn't contaminated and I've got the sort of same yield as I would normally. So there we go, that's 2 potato harvests, folks. Sarpo Mira and the Blue Danube. And that's about it for spuds this year. I've no more, apart from a couple more Sarpos. So that's it, finally, honestly. See you later.